So sleep hygiene, warm baths, kiwi fruit, supplements. Why have these things never cured insomnia for good? That's because none of these things are designed to, and none of them get to the root cause of what insomnia is. And when you try all these short-term quick fixes, hacks, tips, tricks, all these things do is they erode your confidence that you can ever sleep again. They create obsession, they create force, they create control. And when you try these things and then they don't work, they just feed the condition and just put insomnia right up in front of your face all day long. And you're also doing things to try and protect your sleep as well. So if I want to sleep, I can't ever drink caffeine after 3 p.m. I can't eat late in a restaurant. I can never stay in a hotel anymore. I can't exercise too soon before bed, so I need to cancel those things that I used to enjoy. You've got 1,001 things you're doing to try and force yourself to sleep. You've got 1,001 things you can't do in order to try and protect it. It just feeds so much fear, so much anxiety, so much obsession, so much control. And good sleepers, they're not doing any of this stuff and they still sleep. But people with insomnia, they're so desperate to sleep, they just need to get control over it. This is all the nonsense that's out there. It's the only thing they've got they can grab onto, so of course you're going to try it. Bin it. None of this stuff works. So what causes insomnia? Well, I would say insomnia is caused by 4 main things. It's the brain taking on a new pattern of sleep, it's a sleep drive problem, it's the fight or flight stress response, and it's the conditioned response of the bed being a place of worry and wakefulness. Let's tackle the first one, the brain taking on a new pattern of sleep. So people that go on solo round the world boat trips, they can't sleep for say 7 hours each night, because if they did, the boat's going to sink. So what they usually do is they set themselves 12 hours of sleep opportunity, and they set an alarm every single 15 minutes throughout the night to wake them up. Well, wake up, check the boat, get back on course, and then go back to sleep again. Literally, because the brain is so incredibly smart and so incredibly adaptable, that person will start waking up every single 15 minutes without even the alarm needing to sound. So when you've got insomnia, it doesn't matter what pattern of sleep you've taught the brain. It might be taking ages to fall asleep. It might be waking up multiple times throughout the night. It might not been able to sleep through to the morning. If you have accidentally taught your brain a pattern of sleep that isn't helpful to you, you need to start putting behavioural changes in place to break it, because the brain thinks it's helping you. It's not. So you need to do something to break that pattern and rebuild a much better pattern of sleep. So that's number 1. Number 2 is a sleep drive problem. So if we take someone who wakes up at 7 o'clock in the morning and they need to be awake for 17 hours to produce their 7 hours of sleep. If that person was to wake up at 7 a.m, they would start feeling sleepy at around about midnight, because they have built up their sleep drive for 17 hours. But if that person was to wake up at 10 a.m. instead, they still need to be awake for 17 hours to produce their 7 hours of sleep, but it means they're not going to feel sleepy the next night until around about 3 in the morning. Now, I know people with insomnia never feel sleepy, they never have that drive to sleep, but do the right behaviors, do the right thought pattern changes, and you will get that sleepy feeling back. Sleep drive so fundamental to understand when it comes to sleep, because the only thing that makes you sleep is your sleep drive. Number 3, the fight or flight stress response. So imagine you've got a good sleeper who goes on a camping trip to a national park in America. Just as they're about to drift off to sleep, they hear the howl of a wolf next to their tent. So their heart rate, body temperature, adrenaline, cortisol, it spikes through the roof, because the brain is telling them, do not sleep, do not feel sleepy, because I want to keep you awake, because I want to keep you safe. Now, when you've got insomnia, it's like you've got a wolf in the bedroom all the time. time. So if you've ever felt hot at night, got that racing mind, got that racing heart, if even ascending the stairs you already feel that anxiety starting to creep, that is the fight or flight stress response at play, and that's what you need to tackle to help you overcome insomnia. So sometimes it's not as acute as that. Sometimes it's just the racing mind. Sometimes it's just worry about the next morning. Sometimes it's rumination in bed. But any sort of mental alertness is the brain saying, do not sleep because I want to keep you active and I want to keep you alert. And that's something you need to break as well. So number 4, the conditioned response of the bed being a place of worry and wakefulness. So if you've spent so many nights in bed fighting sleep, forcing sleep, pleading with sleep, you're basically telling your brain that the bed isn't a place of calm, it isn't a place of relaxation, it isn't a place of happiness, it's a place where you struggle, it's a place where you fight, it's a place where you ruminate. So even ascending the stairs, you could get that fear and that fight or flight response starting to build. So if you've ever had that thing where you can be relaxed, calm, happy when sat on the sofa, and then instantly alert as soon as your head hits the pillow, that's the conditioned response of the bed being a place of worry and wakefulness at play there. So those are the 4 main things which cause and perpetuate insomnia. And I know you're probably thinking, well, no, mine is because of the menopause, or mine is because of anxiety, depression, PTSD. Yes, all of these things can and do cause short-term sleep problems. All of these things will affect your quality of your sleep. This is not the same as insomnia. If you have got a huge amount of anxiety, stress, worry around sleep, if you've changed your behavior, if you've adapted your days to try and compensate for your insomnia and your poor sleep, that is not the same as the initial trigger or your health concern. Poor quality sleep and sleep problems are very, very different from insomnia. So what to do about these things? Well, the most important thing that you can do, it sounds incredibly counterintuitive, is to reduce the amount of time that you spend in bed. So if we were to take a pastry dish, you've got a 10-inch pastry dish. This is someone who's spending 10 hours in bed, but you've only got 6.5 inches worth of pastry. This is someone who's spending 10 hours in bed but only sleeping for 6.5 within that time. So if you were to spread this 6.5 inches worth of pastry onto this 10-inch dish, it's not going to reach the end, which is someone struggling to stay asleep till the morning. It's not going to start from the start, which is someone taking ages to fall asleep, or it's going to have loads of holes and gaps in the middle. So this would be someone spending ages in bed and waking up multiple times throughout the night time. If you were to shrink this 10-inch dish down to, let's say, 7 inches, you don't sleep less, but the amount of wakefulness during the night time massively reduces. And that fight or flight stress response I talked about earlier, that conditioned response of the bed being a place of anxiety, fear, worry, and wakefulness, what happens? Well, suddenly, if you're spending a lot less time in bed actually awake, that doesn't occur. You're also rebuilding your pattern of sleep by reducing the amount of time you spend in bed, and you are strengthening your sleep drive. So in the initial instance, reducing your sleep opportunity sounds incredibly counterintuitive, but it works incredibly well. Waking up at the same time every single day, incredibly important to anchor your sleep drive and to anchor your body clock. Only going to bed when you are sleepy. You cannot make yourself sleep if you are not sleepy, and this force, this effort, this control, this trying to create something which is impossible to do creates a lot of obsession and worry around your sleep. So it's incredibly important to just go to bed when you are actually sleepy. I know people with insomnia never feel sleepy, but when you start reducing the amount of time you spend in bed, you will get that sleepy feeling back. Get light first thing, exercise during the daytime, and all the things you're doing to try and force yourself to sleep, bin them. They just create more obsession, control, and worry around it. And I also want you to start getting stuck back into your days again. Insomnia is not tackled at night time. It is tackled the first second you wake up. So all these things you fear, all these things you worry about doing, please ask yourself, is this something a good sleeper will do? All right, really hope this video has been helpful to you. Sleepz.com if you want more information. We've done it under 10 minutes, and I will see you in the next video.